Non, mais oh là là là. Hi, welcome back to my channel, Yarn at the Barn. My name is Manon. I'm a programmer, horsey girl, and a knitter, and we're talking about the knitting on this channel. This is just going to be a regular podcast episode, what I've been knitting on, etc. I'm not feeling super well this week, so we'll do like a special format some other time. I don't have a ton of things to talk about, but I'm gonna talk a little bit about the things that I talked about last week because the audio on last week's video was really terrible. I'm really sorry about that. And so I could really understand that quite a few of you didn't watch that one. But let's get into it. I'm going to start with a whip that is almost finished. We're still not talking about the Agnete Cardigan, although I do plan to pick that up a little bit more in the future. But what we are going to start with is the Hawaï top by Chandails and Cardigans. And it's, I can't remember where I was with it last week. I think I had one more little top bit to finish, which I have. And I've also done almost all of the crochet. And I was a bit scared about this because I haven't crocheted in so many years. I did it as a kid in school when I was 8 or 9, something like that. And I hadn't done it since. So I knew it wasn't like the basics are not terribly hard, but these are quite like intricate little finishing details. So I was a bit nervous about it. But I was very pleasantly surprised. I'm not going to become a crocheter just yet, but crochet finishings are definitely not as scary as I thought they were. So since last week, I've done the last little top bit, which is quite fast because it's just lots of decreases and still a bit of lace. And then all the crochet finishings, and I've managed to do it without cutting the yarn, which I'm quite happy about. So in the pattern, I think you have to cut the yarn twice because the button band is on the other side. But I like to have the button band, just like with the cardigans that I'm wearing, on my right side. And so I switched that around, which meant that I could do all the crochet finishings like that are on the garment along the edges in one go. And it's one of those little things that doesn't seem like much, but that made me very happy. So here we go. So this is the button band part. Is this focusing? It is. Oh my god. I'm going to do it like that. I mean, obviously it's a button band, so it's supposed to be vertical, but this is a little bit easier to show. And so it has one little fan and then one little, I don't know, buttonhole thingy, and then a fan and then a buttonhole thingy, and it continues like that from the bottom to the top. And it's not supposed to have a little fan at the top, but I must have done something wrong with counting how many rows I had or something, because I had just a little bit too many, and so I've added like a mini little fan at the top. Then it has, so it's 3 rows. You do sort of simple crochet 2 rows, and then you add the fans and the buttonholes, which is a lot easier than you would think. And then it's the same principle for these top edges, which is back and forth just in the simple little crochet, although here you add a little chainette. I don't know, I watched like, it's a French tutorial, or she speaks in French. It has English subtitles. The pattern is in French and in English. I watched it in French, so I have no idea how to say it, but you do 2 little, like a little crochet chain, and then you reattach it, which creates these little, I don't want to say holes, eyelets, eyelets, I think is the right word. And then your last time going back along the sort of third row is adding these, well, you could call them mini picot, I guess, which in the tutorial looked really daunting. I was a bit scared. I was like, oh my god, she's twisting the crochet hook and then she's pulling the yarn and then the yarn over, and then once you've done it twice, it's totally fine. I think, yeah, I did also watch a little tutorial from Bella Crochet, which has an insane amount of followers. So I do understand why she got all of those, because they were super, super clear. That actually helped me to make sure I was getting it right. But yeah, it's when I've had done a couple, I was like, this just looks weird. But then in a row, they look very nice. I am showing you the right side. I am showing you the right side. Good. And then you end up on the other side of the garment, and you just do all of these little fans all the way to the bottom, where you're going to add little buttons. And I'm so proud of these. I feel like a kid who's just achieved like something that seems really big, and their parents are like, yeah, this is just normal. But I really dreaded these buttons. I had not looked up the tutorial or anything, but they just seemed like, oh my god, it's like suddenly we go from 2D to 3D. Fuck. I'm not supposed to swear on this, I'm sorry. So I was really scared of having to do these, and that's why I left them to almost the end. They're kind of fun once you get into it. I mean, I was a bit scared as well because I have a colleague who does crochet, or who has crocheted, and she's trying to get back into it, and she had to start with a little magic loop, which is how you start these little buttons. And we were talking about it last week, and she said that she could not get it right or how to hold it, and that it's really difficult, unwieldy, or not unwieldy, that is not the right word, but anyway, she was having problems with doing that, and I had never done it, so I was a bit scared, like, oh, this is gonna be hellish. But I thought, okay, worst comes to worst, if they turn out really horrible, I can always sew real little buttons on, or like buy some and then sew them on. But they're working, and I'm so proud. I'm really, really proud of this one. I mean, it's my first like really lace garment. It's my first time doing crochet since I was a kid. It's my first time doing like, I really like doing things, like trying new things and succeeding at them as well. I don't mind not succeeding at like the first few times, but eventually, if I put the work in, I want to succeed. And so yeah, this has just made it so much fun. I mean, okay, it's fall on autumn. It's bloody cold outside. I've been living in this cardigan for weeks, which we have to talk about how the yarn is wearing, etc. And this is very much a summer pattern, but I love it. I will mention it again come next summer to remind everyone to maybe try and knit this, because it's so amazing. It's just really, I absolutely love it. So what I still need to do on this, I've done 2 buttons. I have 6 more buttons to do. That should be quite fast. And then the only thing left is do little I cords, and then it will be done. So I'm fairly, what's the word? This is how you can tell I'm not feeling that well, is I can't find my words. I'm fairly confident that this will be done for next time, and then I won't be able to wear it because it's way too cold, or I will have to crank up the heating in here. But no, I'm not doing that. I don't want it to be too warm, and just to show you this, I will show it. We'll see how I do that, but expect a finished garment for next podcast. So yeah, really looking forward to that one. I forgot to say, I've said that in the past, but it's knitted in cotton merino from Knitting for Olives, so it's 70% cotton and 30% merino. And if you ask me, it's a very good mix because it's just a little bit elastic enough that it's very nice to knit with. It's very nice to crochet with as well. The one downside, and that's just what cotton is like, is it frays relatively easily. But it's not even a huge issue. That is just what cotton does, and it doesn't do it a lot at all. So very happy with this one. And when Knitting for Olive had their not their sale, but the fundraiser for UNICEF, I got more cotton merino to do another top next summer, or start in the spring, so it's ready for summer. I'm not sure I will reknit the same pattern, but if this designer puts out another top like this, I will most definitely knit it. I'm really happy with what she created. Also, a lot of her pieces look a lot like Cézanne knitted clothes. I mean, this one is basically a dupe for the Francesco top, and I was looking for that, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's just that top costs 75 euros, and I think that is just a ridiculous amount of money for a top. Wait, I can look up how much the yarn cost me. It might be something. No, it's not similar because it's only 3 balls, so it's really not that bad. I've got it here. Oh, so the yarn, and I've not even finished the ball, so I could use that on another garment at some point for the edgings or something. The pattern and the 3 balls of yarn had cost me 27 euros and 18 cents. 27 euros and 18 cents. That's a lot cheaper than 75 euros. And I got a lot of enjoyment out of this. I learned new skills. I mean, overall, 10 out of 10, super happy. You'll hear me talk more about this one next time. And then after that, I'll probably shut up. But yeah, super happy. And okay, last thing about this designer, Anaïs Laurent. She's currently, she created a new pattern which is called the Paris sweater, and it's a beautiful sweater with lots of lace on it. And I did think about, do I want to be part or apply for the test knit? And in the end I didn't, because I have other plans for autumn already, but it will be released in November, right in time to add it to the winter plans. And I might really knit that one because it looks really, really beautiful. It's in test at the moment, so we'll see how it turns out and how the other samples will turn out. But if this pattern is anything to go by, she's very talented and she has a really good eye for lace as well, so this should be perfect. So yeah, looking forward to that one. And on the subject of planning, I still want to do autumn plans, but I'm still waiting for the yarn that I ordered for my Esther sweater, and I'm sort of waiting for that one because it's not really one that I discussed in previous videos. So I was going to be like, surprise, it's going to be this one and it looks amazing, or at least I hope, because I still haven't gotten it. It's almost a month since I ordered it, and this shop is just, the communication is an absolute pain. But at this point, this is like the, what's it called? It's the hole fallacy or something like that. The sinkhole fallacy, something that you've already put in so much effort, time, money, or whatever it is into something that you just keep putting it in because you're like, well, otherwise all of that previous time, money, energy, whatever it was, is for nothing. And this is exactly what is happening now. Like, okay, I've already waited almost a month. I might as well wait another week or 2 weeks, or however it will be. I'm waiting for next week. Then it will be over a month since I ordered. And then I'm going to email them again to ask where my order is. Because last week on Thursday, they emailed me back that the yarn was almost in. They had to order it from their supplier, part of it at least. And they said, yeah, it's almost in. After I had to ask them where my order was. And so, yeah, I was hoping for it to come in this week. And that's part of why I waited to film this episode until now, so that I could show it to you. But it's still not here. And it's still not been sent or anything. So, fun times. Anyway, enough of me complaining about all of this. Before we move to my other whip, which I really love as well, let's quickly talk about the champagne cardigan, which is what I am wearing at the moment. And I knitted this in Hobby Friends wool and Drops silk, kid silk, or Drops mohair. Still really happy with how it feels. It's like super soft. The pattern is a bit on the big side. I would go down one more size next time that I do knit it. I think this was size S. Let me check. I've got that in my notes. I think I did knit it already. Like, yeah, I did knit a size S, and it's quite big on me. I think it has the size range goes from XXS all the way to I think 5XL, something like that. But wait, let me see. It's for an S. I mean, it's supposed to be an oversized cardigan, so fair enough. But it's still, I would go down one more size. And one thing that I don't really like is that the sleeves have become huge. Well, not the sleeves, the ribbing. So when I first blocked it, it was a little bit more cinched. And so it, yeah, I don't know, it was a little bit easier to shove it up my arms, and it kept my hands a little bit warmer. And now it's got quite a lot of extra fabric, and it doesn't look as neat as it did before. The rest of the fabric looks amazing. So it's just the sleeves that are sort of, and okay, they were already a bit on the big side, so I might have like pulled them up and held them like this quite a lot of times, so it might be my fault. I'm curious about what you think, if you have any experience with this. That ribbing, it's half twisted ribbing. Does it like really expand like that? Is that normal? It's like expanded sort of, especially on the top, not so much under my hand, but here I really feel like it's expanded to almost the widest that it could be, and it's on both sides. It's not one side more than the other. Both of them are quite big. Not super happy with how that looks. I can't remember if I had to go down a needle size or not for this. But next time that I'm gonna knit ribbing, I might do like the full twist, so twist the knit and the purl stitch so that it is a little bit, it's even smaller, or more cinched in. Because yeah, this is very big, and I like stuff to cover my hand, and because it's so big, it just like ends up flapping down. So yeah, that is one thing. The other thing, I mean, these are not very expensive yarns. And I was surprised at how soft this was. I was scared that this was going to pill a lot, or that, because it's not very expensive, that it was somehow not very good quality, and that it would therefore start pilling pretty soon. I'm pretty amazed. So there's hardly any pilling. I mean, okay, I've pulled out some tiny, tiny little pilling here and there on the sleeve, but it's like absolutely minimal. I would almost not count it as pilling. And I was expecting lots of pilling, like here on the arm, where you rub quite a bit. There's nothing. There's like absolutely, there's dog hairs for my dog, but who is in fact sleeping. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see Archie. He's been a bit tired the last few days, so he's sleeping a lot, and that's maybe because he had one crazy day before where he kept running around all day. But no pilling on the sleeve or on the arm The only place where there is pilling, and there's quite a bit of it, is, I don't know if I can show it to you, but here. So this is the inside of the cardigan, and it's specifically on the ribbing. But I mean, no one is seeing this, so you can see there's quite a lot of it, and it's where it goes over my butt, basically. So it must be rubbing quite a bit there, and so it creates quite a bit of pills there, but none of that on the pearl side of the fabric, as in on the pearl bit. It's just on the ribbing, and I've not depilled it because no one is seeing this, so it's fine. Can't be bothered at the moment. But yeah, that's the only place where this has been pilling, and I've been living in this for almost a month because it's the best thing ever. And I don't have a lot of other knitted garment yet. I have my Amy slip over that is finished, but I like long sleeves, so I've not worn it very much yet. And I've got one more sweater that I did knit 6-7 months ago, but I still have to weave in some of the ends. It's been lying next to the sofa for months, and I finally this week I did pick it up so that I could weave in ends during meetings. So I will be able to wear that soon, but for now it's counted as finished, but I've not been able to wear it yet because, yeah, ends. It's been blocked and everything. Oh, so my computer decided to go to sleep, and I use my computer to record through my phone, because then my phone doesn't need to have too much storage, which was a problem. But yeah, it decided to turn itself off because I was inactive. Let me show you the sweater that still has ends to weave in. This is my Moby sweater that I knitted. I think I cast it on in January this year. I'll do at some point a video where I talk about all the knits that I've done this year prior to starting this channel, so there's quite a few things you've not seen. But I cast this on when I wanted something quite oversized, and I somehow didn't believe that a size S or M, which I normally am, comes with positive ease. I don't know. It was the first actual pattern that I knitted. And so I went for a size L, and it's way too big for me. It fits my husband well, but because of the colour, I mean, okay, on screen it looks just beige. In real life, there's like a bit of a pinkish hue to this, which is not really what I wanted, but that's just how it turned out. It looks like he's wearing a skin jumper. Just this color does not look good on him at all, and I don't know. I don't think it's the best color ever for me. I don't think it's terrible. At least it looks better on me than it does on him, but it's ginormous. I kind of drown in it. It's very much a nice oversized sweater, but it's a little bit too oversized. And also, and I did a hobby friends wool, which, I mean, in this is super soft and after blocking is absolutely amazing. But I paired it with Hobie's very cheap, like mohair dupe that is mostly polyamide, and I don't know if there's acrylic, but I mean non-natural fibers, because that is a budget option, and I could not believe that mohair was so much better and that it justified paying so much money for it. I have learned from my mistakes. But I mean, it's a very affordable option. It's just that it's very scratchy. Okay, it's not very, very scratchy. It's wearable, I believe. Not directly on skin. I would not recommend that. But yeah, when I compare it to the stuff I've been making now, it's meh. Okay, I am back. I had to go get some stuff. So there we go. I think where I left off is talking about this thing and the wearability fibre wise. So yeah, the only thing I would say, I would recommend going for a cheaper mohair, like the drops mohair, which when you look at the price quality is really good. I mean, it's what is in here, and it's not the softer knitting for olive mohair, for example. It's a lot softer, but there's nothing wrong with it really. With some darker colours, the silk thread is still a bit white, so that might be a downside, so something to keep in the back of your mind if you want to knit in a darker colour. But that is also the case with some more expensive mohair, so it's not a guarantee of an expensive mohair is that the silk thread will be dyed in the same colour as well. But yeah, don't use the Hobie Diablo, would be what I have to say. I think I've got quite a bit of it left. Maybe I just give it away because I don't know when I would use it. I just realised it's too itchy, and then it has these sort of like plasticky fibres coming out of it. I'm gonna have to re-knit a Moby sweater, I think, in a different size, thankfully a smaller size, so it should be a bit less work. Possibly a different colour because not the best match, and in a different fibre. So yeah, not gonna frog it, it looks nice. Would have given it to my husband if it looked good on him, and fit wise it sort of does, but the colour is just it does not look good. But yeah, and I talked about this because it doesn't really count as a whip, it's just weaving in ends. But yeah, anyway, moving back to actual whips is my Orchid Bloom Pullover by Sari Nordlund, and it's a bit awkward because I like knitting on a very small cable, so I only moved a couple days ago from 40 centimeters to 60, but I mean this is supposed to be like the yoke, and well, it looks like a hat because it's on such a small cable. Let me try to show it to you though. So there we go. The colour looks about right on the screen. It looks very pink, and in real life, maybe if yeah, there we go. This is a bit more, when I put it closer to the camera, it looks very pink, but this is a bit more what it's like, and I'm just in love. So this is Tôt le Matin, which is an indie dyer in France, and this is her 70% merino, 20% silk, 10% cashmere fingering base. She has lots of different bases, so you can choose whichever colour you want, and then whichever base, and there's, I don't know, 20 or 30 different bases. So that's really lovely. I also have the similar one of these, but instead of merino, it's got alpaca in it, and that is one hell of a dream. It's the softest thing ever, but this is super, super nice as well. My birthday is coming up, and I'm very much considering just asking for gift cards from her shop so I can get myself another sweater quantity of hand-dyed yarn. And I think she does custom ordered colours as well, so that you can describe what you want and she tries to do it. Not tried it yet, but sounds very interesting. And the other yarns, I'm holding a double with Knitting for Olive in Forest Berry, and this colour is Clématite. I will link this one below because this is quite special, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but it's super, super nice, and it creates this really nice fabric. It's quite light, and I mean, okay, it's lace, so that makes sense, but I really like how it, I don't know, this is really hard to show any progress on this, but it's got, I think I'm almost halfway through the lace yoke, which doesn't look like it when it's like this. You think like that, you have like a tea cozy and that's it, girl. But I promise, I mean, halfway down, almost halfway down the chart. I think a few more rows in and I'm actually halfway. And yeah, it's super easy to knit. it's a very simple chart. It's a quite a small repeat, so it's easy to learn it by heart, and then you do all your repeats. Not done. The only modification I did, but I talked about it last week as well, is you're not supposed to, well, knit down or sew down the collar straight away. You're supposed to sew it down once you've finished. But I was like, well, it's a folded collar, and why not knit it down straight away? Then I don't have to sew it later. And so that's what I did. And I was a bit nervous because I was on this tiny little cable at first, and it looked very small, and I've got a big head, and I was wondering, like, is this gonna fit over my head? But I mean, okay, should not pull it too much because then I'm going to pull it off the needles, but I'm fairly certain it will be fine. But yeah, so that was reassuring after switching the cable, that I will fit into my jumper, or I should at least. I will make myself fit into this jumper. My one little concern at this point is, I mean, okay, it's on a tiny cable, so that might be the reason, but the collar seems to stand up a little bit. It might be the cable, or it might not. I don't know. We'll see. There's not much I can do about it now, and it's knitted down, so it's not like I can change it afterwards. So yeah, we'll have to see. Don't slip this thing off. I just had a bit of a fright as well when I went to get a few things. I brought my knitting, and then I needed to get something out of the bag when I came back, and I realised that some of the stitches of my Agnete cardigan had slipped off, and there's brioche, and I got very, very scared, but I didn't lose any stitches. They all seem to be safely back on now, but while putting them back on, I did think, oh, this is such a nice, lovely, squishy texture. So maybe I pick that one back up next week. I've been thinking about it, in fact, because it's a very nice, well, in fact, let me get it, then we can talk about it after all. First time in weeks that we're going to talk about the Agnete cardigan. Let me get that out. Okay, without anything, there's needles everywhere, and this is not even a needle that is in the project. So Agnete cardigan, pattern by PetiteKnit, and I'm knitting it in, well, part of the recommended yarn, so in thin PetiteKnit, which is a thinner version of PetiteKnit, and I'm holding it double with drops kit silk as a mohair instead of the sandless yarn option. But yeah, look at it, it's so squishy. I'm not sure if I'm showing you the correct side. No, I'm showing you the inside of it. There we go. This is it, and it's lovely. And what was I going to say about this? Oh yeah, I mean, it's too bad I'm not knitting on this at the moment, and it's really like cardigan season. So why am I all the way to the side of the screen? Sorry, should be back in the middle now. So I thought maybe what I have to do in order to motivate myself is just have like a dedicated day. Like, for example, the Monday I go to the office and I have a very long commute on the train, is to just knit on this whenever I'm on the train. That way I'm forcing myself to have, it's like 4 hours of knitting a week on this, and maybe that will be enough to get the motivation back. I mean, it's a lovely knit. The reason that I got a little bit demotivated is that I started knitting this cardigan, and it's so much faster. I mean, it's a bigger gauge, it's not brioche, so of course it's faster. And so I just kept on doing this, and then I picked up, well, I think it was the Hawaii top or even something else, I can't remember. And then it sort of made me realise how slow brioche was, and then I didn't pick it back up. But it's a waste because it's so squishy and lovely, and I would love to wear this. Also, I need to get this thing out of my project bag because this mohair, the drops mohair, is quite fluffy. You can see the halo, and a lot of that fluff tends to go everywhere, and I've never noticed it so much with lighter mohair from drops, but now that I've got red one and I had white projects in that bag, I find red mohair, tiny little strands of it everywhere. I had to pull it out of my Hawaii top. I mean, even this morning I pulled out some more because it was getting into the buttons, and yeah, this has been at the bottom of my project bag for so long. So yeah, there's some good reasons to finish this. Also, when I finish something, I get to cast on something else. So my Hawaii top being almost finished, it's almost time to cast on the next project, which, I mean, this sort of falls into autumn plans, but I've got one quick little update, and then maybe instead of just autumn plans, it will be autumn and winter plans by the time I get that yarn. But I have changed my mind about something. Let me get the mini swatches and the actual swatch. So I am planning to knit the Low Tide Pullover by Rachel Ilsley, and so I had knitted this little swatch for that. And this is in Knitting for Olive Merino and Soft Silk Mohair, and this is 2 colorways combined. So the Merino is Wheat and the Soft Silk Mohair is Dusty Honey. And I had done 4 colour swatches to decide what colour I wanted. This is going to be interesting. How am I going to hold this all up to the camera? I'm going to try. There we go. So I have all of these, and out of these I picked this one, which is Wheat and Dusty Honey, because I thought it looks kind of golden, it's nice. But the more I think about it, the more I think it's a little bit too busy in a pattern that already has lace and cables. I think the marling is sort of distracting from the effect of the lace and the cables. So if we go back to then the 2 more simple options, because this is Trench Coat and Dusty Honey. Will it focus? There we go. It's not quite focused, is it? There we go. And I think this is lovely, but once again, slightly distracting, so I'm going to do that for something else. 2 simple options are Trench Coat with Trench Coat and Wheat with Trench Coat. Why is it not quite focusing? Maybe I'm too close. There we go. And Trench Coat with Trench Coat, I just find a little bit boring. It's also slightly cooler toned, and I'm not quite convinced. Whereas Wheat with Trench Coat, it looks like it's the same. Oh, there we go. It looks like it's the same mohair, but it isn't, and it gives it just a little bit more depth. And when I put up a poll on my Instagram to ask which one you guys preferred, this was actually the winner. And back then I didn't agree, and I wanted the one with the Dusty Honey. But I think now I do agree. And I think this is going to be like a very simple option that is really going to put the focus on the cables and the lace. So yeah, I get to cast this one on very soon, which I'm excited about. So yeah, that is going to be the colourway after all. And then I might have some plans for the other balls that I have in the other colours, but we'll see about that. That we'll discuss in the plans video whenever that comes along. So yeah, that is kind of it for this week. It's already quite late. I have no idea how I'm going to make the deadline of 5 PM, so this might be live a little bit after that. Sorry about it, but it's been a bit of a weird week with not feeling too well. So yeah, I didn't film this any earlier, and that was a bit of a mistake maybe. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. That's always nice. Let me know in the comments what you've been knitting on while watching this, or in general. And if you're not subscribed yet, then you can do so if you don't want to miss any future videos. It also helps my channel grow, which would be lovely. So yeah, you can do that now. I'll see you next Friday at 5 p.m. So it will either be autumn plans, autumn winter plans, or maybe a pattern roundup with accessories. Although there's also some more jumpers that have just come out that look absolutely wonderful. But we'll see. You can also let me know down in the comments what you would like to see, and then I can try and do that. Okay, see you next week. Bye bye.